This is not a place you will find a 5-star hotel, and the location is not near downtown. In fact, it is located in one end corner of Singapore, and the nearest MRT station is not within walking distance. But as a local, I'll explain to you why I will still recommend staying here for tourists visiting us. This is a 4-star hotel located at Changi Village, which is very near to the airport. It may not be as grand and posh compared to a 5-star hotel, but in my opinion this is still an elegant hotel. Most importantly, I think this is really a value for money option. Our room was just 120 Sing dollar. For a similar sized room and setup at the hotels in downtown, it would most likely cost at least 4 to 5 times more. And seriously, if you ask me, the room is nice and cozy, not that far off from a 5-star hotel.
Are we going for lunch? Then we go swimming. Okay, 姐姐 ，Red Cat 哦，这个 Red Cat is the new one. As soon as 我 Okay.
It comes with an infinity pool on the rooftop. Definitely not as hype as the one at Marina Bay Sands Hotel, but it is not as crowded too. There's also a second pool on the ground floor which I personally prefer. And all these are just aspects of the hotel. The surrounding environment is really the main reason why I recommend staying here. Though situated at one corner of Singapore, but Singapore is really a small island city to begin with. It's around 50 km from extreme east to west and 27 km crossing from north to south. So it is not that far a ride to take a bus to the nearest MRT station. I have very fond memory of this place, a place which occupied many weekends of my early childhood. My father was from the island Pulau Tekong, a former island village in Singapore which was converted for military use in the early 90s. And before most of our relatives moved out of the island somewhere in mid-80s, the jetty at Changi Village served as a gateway for us to visit them at Tekong Island every weekend. Tekong Seafood Restaurant resumed its business at Changi Village after vacating the island, and is still operating today by the second generations at exactly the same spot for more than 40 years. Today, Changi Village is a small housing estate developed in the mid-70s, replacing once a relaxing laid-back village. Now, even with the local food hunting crowds here on every weekend, I think it still managed to radiate a sense of peacefulness, all thanks to the vast greenery and also the attitude of the small community here. It's more laid back and it gives you a feeling of isolation from the busy city life of Singapore. And this place has a huge selection of authentic local food. There are quite a lot of kopitiam and eateries along the shophouses, also the famous Changi Village Hawker Centre. And any locals will tell you that these are the places to get a real good local food. It's good and cheap. And a lot of these kopitiam and food stalls operate till fairly late, making it very convenient to grab supper. Cherry Point Ferry Terminal is literally just in front of the hotel, making it very convenient for you if you have intention of visiting Pulau Ubin, which is one of the few island villages left in Singapore. In my opinion, the greenery and seaside is definitely one of the highlights of this place, and it is such a small thing to be neglected. Singapore itself is mostly a concrete city, and this is one of the few places left with such calm ambient. And beach lovers who love tranquility, the beach here is less crowded as compared to the other more popular beaches in Singapore. I still remember when I was a kid, I always think this is the most beautiful beach in Singapore. Well, this may not be a perfect place, but it's definitely one of the coolest places to experience local cuisine and also the locals' way of life and cultures.